More than 140 people are now confirmed to have died in Indonesia after a military transport plane crashed into a residential area shortly after takeoff. Now, the aircraft came down in the city of Medan, that's in northern Sumatra, killing everyone on board, and it's not yet known how many people on the ground were also killed. Let's take you to Jakarta. We can get the very latest from the BBC's Alice Budisatrio, who is there for us. Alice, it seems the attention now is focused on the people that were on board, because we're hearing 140 killed, but there weren't 140 people on the passenger list. Who were they?
Well, it seems like the people on board were, there were only 122 people on board, and there were more people killed who were from the ground because the plane crashed into a quite busy residential and commercial area. But the 122 people on board is the center of the attention right now, because a lot of those people were civilians. Some of them were relatives of military members, but others were paying passengers, which is of course something that is not supposed to be allowed in a military plane. But we've been speaking to a lot of people who live in remote areas in Indonesia. One of them is Natuna Islands, which is one of the places that this plane was supposed to go later on that fateful day. And according to people who live there, it's quite common for the military planes to be transporting people to other places in the archipelago, because there's not a lot of commercial planes that go there, and people can pay cheaper fees rather than taking a commercial plane. So this is something that the military has denied for being a common practice. A military spokesman said that if this indeed happened, it must have been done by rogue elements within the ranks, and they will investigate it thoroughly.
Alice, what's been the reaction of the President, Joko Widodo?
Well, the president spoke for the first time today about the incident, and he drew the attention on the outdated military hardware that Indonesia has. So he was calling for a rehaul of the Indonesian military hardware, to decommission old equipment. This plane that crashed was made in 1964, and the military, since the crash, has grounded all of the other Hercules planes, at least temporarily. But this is happening amidst an economic slowdown in Indonesia. So while President Joko Widodo has called for a doubling of the military or the defense spending, it's actually unlikely to happen anytime soon.
Alice, thanks so much for updating us from Jakarta. We've got to take